Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to take you through a grounding practice focusing on our root chakra, the Muladhara in Sanskrit. And the themes that are connected with the root chakra are themes of safety, security, grounding, belonging, and our general relationship with the physical world. Our yoga practice is one way that we can grow ourselves and really reconnect and rebuild that relationship with ourselves, to work on our own internal sense of safety and connectedness. A lot of the poses today will focus on bringing us close to the earth, using our lower body and rooting us into the ground beneath us. I hope you enjoy today's practice, and let's get started. So we are going to start in a tabletop position. And we're going to have our knees just under our hips, our wrists under our shoulders, our fingers are spread wide, and just really thinking about your hands, your knees, your feet, really pushing into the ground. You're starting to feel rooted and grounded into the earth beneath you. We're going to take a few cat-cows here. So inhale, lifting up the tailbone, lifting up the chest, opening up our heart. Exhale, curl that spine, starting from the tailbone all the way up to our head. Inhale, chest is lifted, heart is open. Exhale, really pushing your hands into the earth, rounding that spine. Inhale, tailbone up to the sky, chest is open. Exhale, back to center. Tucking your back toes underneath, pushing up through your hips into downward facing dog. You can bring your legs at a wider stance here. You can keep your knees slightly bent for our first downward dog of the class today. And your fingers are spread wide apart. You're breathing through your spine, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhale, lifting your left foot up to the sky into three-legged dog, keeping your hips facing forward. Exhale, gently bringing your foot in between your two hands. Making sure that your knee is in line with your ankle. If you prefer, you can drop down onto your knee, or you can stay up on the balls of your feet. Glide your shoulders down and back. Your spine is straight. Really feeling that energy pushing into the earth. Inhale, bring your right foot to meet your left into forward fold. You can keep a slight bend in your knee here. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your hands onto your shins or your fingertips onto the mat with a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing your hands behind your calves and really feeling that stretch and the widening of your sit bones in this position. And see if you can bring your chest just a little bit closer to your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Spine is straight. Bringing your hands onto the mat, stepping your feet back into plank. Your weight is shifted slightly forward, so your shoulders are just slightly past your wrists. Your back legs are strong. Your hands are strong. Your core is tight. Exhale, start to lower down slowly, bringing your elbows at a 90-degree angle and bringing your chest and your quads right onto your mat. Releasing your back toes. Keeping your hands in line with your shoulders, start to lift your chest up slightly into baby cobra. Option here is to extend a little bit higher into upward facing dog, really pushing the front of your feet into the mat. tuck your back toes under, pushing your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky, making sure to keep your hips facing forward. Exhale, slowly bring your right foot in between your two hands. You can drop down to your knee if you prefer. Just making sure that your knee is in line with your ankle. Your spine is straight. Just feel that power of your feet rooting you into the ground. With each of these poses, just think of roots coming out from the bottom of your feet, really anchoring you into the ground and the earth beneath you. Inhale, bring your left foot to meet your right into a forward fold. Inhale, lifting your hands up, bringing them up to the sky. Exhale, start to sink your hips down into chair pose. Curling your tailbone forward so that you're not sticking your bottom out. You're curling your tailbone forward. You're pushing your hips together. Your spine is straight. Your legs are strong. And we're here for 3, 2, and 1. Start to lift up and stand tall, palms open. And just take a minute to ground yourself here. And I'm going to just turn around and demonstrate our next pose. Moving into tree pose, we have a few options. If you are feeling a little off balance today, or if you're working on your balance and that stability, you can place your foot just right where your ankle is or on your calf. Or if you're feeling steady today and you want to challenge, you can bring your foot just above your knee on your inner thigh, making sure that your foot is not over your knee or on your knee. So it's either above or below your knee. You can bring your hands to prayer position. You can extend your arms up to the sky if you'd like, completely up to you. Oh, there we go. I'm losing my balance today. There we go. Really feeling your feet rooted into the ground. Your spine is straight. The crown of your head is facing towards the ceiling. You're nice and tall like a mountain. Inhale. Exhale. Extend your left leg behind you into a high lunge. Lifting your hands up to the sky. Your back leg is strong. Your knee is just past your ankle. And try to sink a little bit lower into this high lunge position with each exhale. See if you can just sink a little lower. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Bringing your left foot to meet your right into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine is straight. Exhale, dropping your hands onto the mat. Start to heel toe your feet so they're mat width apart, so just on the outsides of your mat. Starting to sink your hips down, bringing your hips down to the earth into a squat position. Really leading with your hips, widening those sits bones, bringing your elbows on the inside of your knees, and really thinking about pushing into your knees with your elbows, feeling that connection, that push and pull between your knees and your elbows. Your spine is straight. Dropping your hands down onto the mat, Start to lift up from your hips into a wide forward fold. And just try to bring your chest as close to your thighs as possible. You can bring your hands behind your calves if you like. You can keep them on the mat. Really feeling the widening of the sits bones here, the strength in the back of your legs. Inhale, start to walk your hands forward if you'd like a deeper stretch, or you can stay where you are, completely up to you. And start to feel how your chest sinks a little bit closer to your hips as you extend your hands out in front of you. Breathing through the spine. Walking your hands back to the mat, to the center of the mat. Bringing your hands to your hips. And leading with your heart and your chest, start to lift up from your chest, lifting yourself back up to standing. Walking your feet back together to the center of the mat. Bringing your left leg behind you and anchoring it to the ground, keeping your front knee bent over your ankle, extending your arms out to the sides into warrior two. Making sure that your heels are in line with one another and your spine is straight. Again, really feeling that grounding through your legs, through your feet into the earth. We'll stay here for 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Really looking at your fingertips there, feeling the reach from one side of the room to the other. Inhale, start to bring your right arm down. So you have 2 options here. You can bring your hand all the way down to the inside of your, the outside of your foot, as long as you're keeping everything in line. Or you can bring your elbow onto your knee into side angle. So the goal here, again, is just to keep everything in line, making sure that your spine is still straight, you're not leaning forward. So whichever position allows you to do that is the one you're going to go with. And just breathe. Inhale, start to lift yourself up, dropping your left arm onto your thigh, flipping your palm over and extending it overhead into reverse warrior. Really feeling the stretch through your side rib, breathing through those side ribs. Opening your chest up to the sky. Inhale, start to cartwheel your hands down onto the mat, bringing yourself into a high lunge, adjusting your legs where you need to make sure that your knee is at a 90-degree angle. Your back leg is strong. Again, remembering the option to drop down to your knee if you'd like. Bring your right foot to meet your left into plank. Shifting your weight forward slightly. Exhale, start to lower down slowly. Placing your chest, your quads, releasing your back toes onto the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Or upward facing dog. Really pushing the backs of your feet into the mat. Tucking your back toes under and pushing those hips back into downward facing dog. Taking some nice deep breaths here, really breathing through your spine. Walking your feet up to the front of the mat.
into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting your hands up to the sky. Exhale, sinking those hips down into chair pose. Bringing your hips close together, your toes close together, remembering to curl your tailbone under, forward. And we're here for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to standing, releasing your hands. Moving into tree pose on the other side. Bringing your right foot either just below your knee or above your knee. Try to keep what you've done on one side the same as the other. And just really focusing your balance and your attention on something in front of you. Keeping your hands to heart center or extending them up to the sky like a tree. Really feeling the strength in this pose, really feeling the grounding and the stability that comes with this pose, tree pose. Extend your right leg now behind you into a high lunge, keeping your hands up to the sky. Your knees just over your ankle. Strong legs, strong core. Your hips are facing forward. Really reaching your hands up to the sky, really extending that reach. Bringing your right foot to meet your left into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine is straight. Exhale, forward fold. Start to heel toe your feet to the outside of your mat again. Starting to sink your hips down, really feeling your hips coming into the ground, into a squat. Your sits bones are widening, bringing your elbows on the inside of your knees. Just feeling the crown of your head towards the ceiling. It's lengthening, your spine is lengthening. Your feet are grounded. Inhale. Exhale, dropping your hands onto the mat. Start to lift your tailbone up to the sky into a wide leg forward fold. So option is to stay here or extend your hands out in front of you and just walk them out. And you're not bringing your whole weight forward. You're keeping your hips where they are. You're just extending the spine as far as you can. Extending your hands as far as they'll go without you moving from this posture. You can keep your knees slightly bent here. But you really just want to feel your the stretch along your spine. Really bringing your breath into the spine. Walking your hands back to the middle of your mat. Heel toe your feet together to a forward fold. Inhale, reaching your hands up to the sky. Exhale, bringing them down. This time we're going to bring our right leg behind us into warrior one. So anchoring that back leg down, your ankles are in line with one another. Your arms are extended. Your spine is tall. Really feeling your feet, again, your legs grounded. They're strong. Your arms are strong. There's energy pushing into the ground. There's energy coming out your fingertips. Inhale, start to bring your left hand down either to the outside of your foot or bringing your elbow to your knee. Again, just thinking of keeping everything in one straight line here. And just breathe. Inhale, start to lift yourself back up, keeping that front knee bent, lifting your front palm up and extending it behind you into reverse warrior. Remembering to keep your chest open here, not collapse it towards the front, but keeping it open. Your heart is open. Really breathing through that side rib. Cartwheeling your hands back onto the mat. Bringing yourself, pivoting that foot again to the front of the mat into a lunge. Bringing your left foot to meet your right into downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath here, and on the exhale, just let out one big sigh. Inhale. Exhale. Just let it all out. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Sigh it out. Start to shift your weight forward, back into plank. Coming onto your tippy toes. And just hold it here in this posture for 3 breaths. Your hands are rooted into the ground. Your back legs are strong. Your core is tight. After your last breath, come down onto your knees. You can widen your knees apart if you'd like, or you can keep them together, and just pushing your hips back into child's pose. Just sinking yourself into the mat here. Really feeling the closeness into the earth. That connectedness through your breath, through all your inhales and your exhales. Really expand your back, breathing through your upper back. Your sits bones are widening. Start to bring your hands closer to your body, pushing yourself up and resting onto your heels, sitting up tall. Bringing your hands just on your quads here. Really lengthening the spine. Rolling your shoulders back, feeling the stretch along your chest, feeling the stretch between your shoulder blades. Start to swing your feet to the front of the mat, and you may need to reposition yourself to the center of your mat here. Bringing your legs out, extended in front of you. Lifting on an inhale, bringing your hands up to the sky. Exhale, start to bring your weight forward, but coming from the hip and extending your arms out in front of you. So really thinking of reaching to the wall, to the other side of the wall. Slowly start to lower yourself down, bringing your hands, clasping them behind your feet. You can keep a slight bend in your knees here. And just bringing your chest closer to your thighs. Letting your head hang down loose. Start to lift up on an inhale. One vertebrae at a time, very slowly and purposefully. Bring your hands on either side of you. Start to bend your knees, bringing the soles of your feet together into a butterfly position. or bound angle position. And bringing your hands and clasping them around your feet. You can bring your heels a little bit closer to your sits bones. Really feeling the length in your spine here. Inhale, lengthening that spine. Exhale, start to bring yourself forward. Chest over your feet. Feeling the stretch on the inner thighs. Your sit bones are widening. Inhale, start to lift yourself back up. Bringing your back onto your mat. So bring your hands on either side of you and start to lower yourself back onto your mat, keeping your soles of your feet together. So keeping it in bound angle pose. And just really expanding your lower back here. You're still feeling the stretch on the inner thighs. Your sit bones are still grounded. And you're feeling that expansion in your lower back. Lifting up your knees and clasping the outside of your feet into happy baby pose. So just bringing your knees closer to your shoulders, really opening up those hips. You can rock side to side here if you'd like. This is one of my favorite poses. So much fun. Releasing your feet, extending them all the way out in front of you. Releasing your hands onto the mat, palms facing up. And we're going to stay here for 10 breaths. But during our time, I want you to imagine you sinking with each exhale a little bit more into the ground. You can imagine or visualize sinking into the grass. Or imagine that you're sinking into sand on a beach. Whatever is grounding for you, imagine that's where you're resting and you're rooting yourself. Whatever is grounding for you. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Sinking a little bit deeper with each exhale. On your last breath, start to bring your knees into your chest and just give them a little hug. Start to roll over onto your side. Pushing your hands into the ground, lifting yourself back up into a seated position. Rolling your shoulders back. Taking a deep inhale, lifting your hands up to the sky. Exhale, palms together, bringing them to your heart center. And I hope this practice was grounding for you today. I know right now we probably need it more than we ever have. We're probably feeling a little off balance these days and just feeling that security and that sense of stability is very needed right now. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Namaste.